Good afternoon, class. Today you are going to be taking a quick set of notes on characterization and theme. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and pause the video, set up your binder paper so that it is in Cornell Notes style. By the time we are done today, your notes should look something like the image on the screen. And up at the top, you're going to write our essential question. What is the relationship between the characters of a narrative and the theme of a narrative? So again, you're going to pause your video, get set up, and then when you're ready to move forward, press play. Now, the theme of a narrative is its central message, concern, or insight into life that's expressed through a literary work. This can be expressed by in a one or two sentence statement about human beings or about life. It could be stated directly or implied in the work, and your interpretation uncovers the theme. So this is a great definition for theme. We're going to talk a little bit more about what this actually means. Now, the theme of a narrative is the lesson that the author tries to teach about life. It is always a complete sentence. So while these are great topics to describe what a book or a movie or a poem is about, they aren't quite themes yet. Things like love or family, courage, survival, change, guilt, those are just topics. In order to be themes, I need to turn them into full and complete sentences. So if my topic is courage, then my theme would be a statement about courage. So something like it takes courage to do the right thing. Instead of love being the theme, it's better to love than hate is the full theme. Our next topic or our next term is characterization. This is how the writer reveals to the audience the personality of a character. And the writer can do this through two different ways. One is direct in characterization. And like the name sounds, the author is directly telling the audience something about the character. So for example, the patient boy and quiet girl were both well-mannered and minded their father. The boy is patient, the girl is quiet. The author's telling us that right off the bat. The second way, and the more interesting way that a writer reveals something about the character is through indirect characterization. This is when the author shows things that reveal the personality of the character. And they do this through this acronym STEAL, the speech, the thoughts, the effect, the actions, and the looks of a particular character. So what does a character say? What are they thinking? What do they do? These are the things that reveal more about the character and their character's personality than just directly telling us they're a nice person. Now, there are different types of characters. Our protagonist is always our central character, and our antagonist is the character or characters that oppose the protagonist. Now, sometimes this is shortened to be the good guy and the bad guy, but that's not always the case. If you think about a movie like Megamind, Megamind is technically the bad guy in the film, but he is the central character, so he is the protagonist of that film. A dynamic character changes throughout the plot of a story. They grow as a character. So this change might be sudden, but it's expected based on the story's events. A static character has very few changes throughout the story. Often the villain of a story is a static character. If they start off bad, then they end up still being bad. A round character, these are our characters that feel like real people. These have complex personalities. They have a background story. They have motives. They are fully created characters. And flat characters are just the opposite. They're relatively uncomplicated. They're one-dimensional. So a lot of times when you have like a good guy versus a bad guy story, these tend to be more flat characters. Audiences tend to feel more empathy for our rounded characters because they have motivations, they have backstories, they have reasons for why they do the things that they do. That's going to be the end of our theme and characterization notes. At the bottom of your page, you're going to try and answer this question that we started with, our essential question. What is the relationship between the characters of a narrative and the theme of the narrative? Go ahead and pause your video and finish your notes.